Welcome, beautiful yogis. We are delighted that you are here to spend this next hour and some resetting your body, mind, and coming into a relaxed state. Not only will we put the body and mind into a relaxed state, we will also up-level our frequency, our level of vibrating that we are engaged in at this moment, and as we proceed the class, and to just learn what it feels like to be vibrating at a frequency that is positive, alive, full of hope, love, and peace. That's what we want, isn't it? That's what the world needs. That's what we need personally. Those around us need that. And as we build this higher frequency, we are helping to heal the world. So, let's begin. Open book pose, please. So we've got the bolster on the two blocks that are in a little step, and we get to lie down. To lie down in a way that the body feels open, spacious, contained, snuggled in. So this is how it looks. Slide up to the narrow end of the bolster, lie back along the recliner. Find the midline, so your bony spine and your shoulder blades and shoulders and arms fall away each side, left and right. And as you sense that your feet are matched up in cobbler's pose, or your legs are out straight, allow your eyes to fall closed and take a moment to tune into your state of being in this moment. What's here? Is there fatigue? Is there worry? Is there concern? Or is there negative self-talk? We are familiar with all of those. And the invitation is to notice, to let yourself feel it. And then let your awareness come to your breathing, and we'll take a deep initial breath in together. Through your nose, breathe in. It's a very big breath. Make room for a very big breath pause. And please blow this breath away. We'll do that again, the nose breathing in. Begin your breath at the lower part of your lungs and let it rise. Filling to full capacity where we savor, we treasure this moment of fullness. Blow it away. And we do it one more time together. Deliciously full. And then this controlled, smooth exhalation through the pursed lips. At the empty moment, pause a moment, let your shoulders fall back down, and then allow the incoming breath through the nose. A little pause at the top. And now you're breathing out through your nose, letting this breath go. And so as we attune to this shape in your body, you can feel the stretching, you can feel gravity take your body weight. You can notice the thoughts, the sensations, the emotions that are moving through your body-mind at this time. But the attention is on shaping the breath now. In and out smoothly, unlabored, rising to fullness and emptying away again in the easy and yet articulate, diligent way. Both in and out now through your nose as you rest in the open book pose. And with the breath now in the foreground of your attention, our awareness can still tune into the background, the body, the thoughts, the emotions, the little distractions, the little itchy and discomforts, all that bothersome stuff that sometimes attacks us, as it were, especially when we're feeling a little gnarly and a little anxious or a little stressed. This way of breathing is a wonderful way to smooth it all out. And I love that the breath is this vehicle for informing us of our state of being with its bumpiness, shakiness sometimes, and how the breath is not only a way to be informed as to where we're at, the breath is also the very medicine to clear that away, or to smoothen it, or to make space for it, to get comfortable with what is here. So continue to feel now this rise and fall of your breath. Where we put our attention really matters. There's the story of the professor announcing to his students that today is assessment day, out of the blue, and everybody has a page in front of them turned face down, and the instruction is to look, ponder, and then write. And at the moment of begin, each student turns over the page, and what is on the page, it's a blank page, and in the middle of the page is a black dot. Right there in the middle of the page. And the students go through all that they go through at the time of assessment. They can feel all that going through them, and they're staring at the page and at the black dot. And so at the end of the class, the professor takes it all in and looks at them and reports back. And he announces that every single one of you was focused on the black dot, where you had a whole page that you could have written about. A whole blank page, but you were focused on the black dot. And so it's what we tend to do. Rick Hansen, the neuroscientist, says we are wired to see negativity more easily than we see the beauty. And we're a little bit wired that way, and so it takes effort to start to see beyond the black dot, to see the spaciousness, the potential of the blank page. And we all know that where our attention goes, energy flows. The practice of mindfulness allows us to be aware of where our attention is. And often our minds just drift away into storylines. Before we know it, we're on a Greek holiday or somewhere else. Who knows where our mind might suddenly take us. But to pay attention of what that is and where that is. And at this time, the feeling and the shaping of your breath with the intention to relax. Relax the body, shape the breath, knowing full well how potent this way of breathing is to still the storylines, to still that ruminating mind. And that even if it is there in the background, we can stay with the breath itself. See how it would be now to add a little pause at the top of your breath and at the end of your breath. Start to amplify those pauses. And then the invitation is to make the inhale, the pause, the exhale, and the pause the same length. In other words, let's do the square breath for the next minute or two. So if your inhale is 4, have all the sides of the breath for 4 counts. Some of you might choose 5. In, pause, out, pause. All of them the same length. This particular way of breathing holds our attention. So our mind is now completely occupied with keeping it an actual square breath. And this is sending a powerful signal to the nervous system that we are entering now a more relaxed place and that it is safe. We're feeling safe enough to drop a little deeper into the relaxed place. Please complete the square breath that you are on, letting go the count when you get there, and just sensing your body again, sensing its shape here. And perhaps you are already beginning to feel different from the moment we began and dropped in to check in our state of being. How is it now? Lovely. And so before we go into our next pose, let's do a little aura cleanse. And so with your arms out to the sides, energize your arms while breathing in, raise them up overhead. The arms just kind of float up overhead. And then turn your palms down and close to your face as though brushing the air over the front body, down, down, down as long as you can, and then disperse that energy. And we'll do it again. We'll inhale, and this inhale is bringing in this cosmic renewal, and it fuels the exhalation where the palms down brush the field down the front of the body and disperse whatever does not need to be here. We don't need to define that. Let's take it one more time. Raise the arms up and exhale down the midline of your body, pushing away, clearing away as it were, and let your arms relax again. Nice. And so here we have completed our first pose, yogis. Help your knees up together and roll to your side. And we'll set up now for the revolved child's pose. Open one of your blankets as a platform, a little soft padding for your left buttock. Plop down on it. And we're touching the bolster, and we've got that second blankie there, which is going to support the top knee as we sit mermaid style and rotate towards your bolster, lift up and lie down all the way along the middle. Sometimes you'll hear a little spinal adjustment, a little click in your spine, and that's a lovely little adjustment that happens. Please close your eyes, settle in here. Have your legs as comfy as you can, zigzaggy, on top of one another, or even stretching your bottom leg out. And we're snuggled into child's pose. For some, to turn the head the other way is a possibility, but not if it's not comfy. Please breathe all the way into your back. The invitation now to inhale for 5 and exhale for 10 counts. See how that goes. The longer exhalation is deepening that message to your nervous system. It's okay to let go. It's okay to relax. This is good. This is healing. This is the releasing of lower vibratory sensations, emotions. Annoyance, irritation, anger, sadness, apathy. They're low on the pole. We're all familiar with them, but we don't want to live there. We keep returning to the breath. We let go, we ignore any self-talk that is dismissive of ourselves. Any talk that is dismissive of anyone else too. These are low vibratory states. They don't serve us. They're often very bad habits, well-worn neurological pathways. And so what we're doing as we breathe and observe, we are in fact rewiring our brain, making it easier and quicker to get on the right path internally by this practice. Which right now is just the 1-2 breath ratio. Letting that exhalation be really, really long. I invite you to enjoy just 3 more cycles of the long exhalation on this side. And then as you complete, when you get there, don't move. Just let go the counting breath and tune in again. Just tune into your state of being. Now bring your hands again to press up, pressing up out of this revolved child's pose to take it the other way. So sit down on your right butt cheek. Bring your prop across for your leg and sidle up close. Turn your long trunk and fold forward to rest again in this revolved child's pose, second side. Close eyes. Get as comfy as you can and then return to the 1-2 breath. This physical body, now in this shape, all the different systems in the body knowing what to do and tuned in to where our consciousness is in this moment. where our attention is. And it's where our attention is that determines our frequency. So every person on this planet is vibrating at a very subtle hertz frequency rate on their personal vibration analysis. And we have a base metabolic rate when at rest. But when events start happening in our lives and our emotions are engaged, our vibrational rate changes rapidly and often dramatically. And it's actually from birth that our emotions are engaged. And that's when we start learning our defense reactions, and they become imprinted and they're stored deep in our mind's recesses. And as we move through each experience in childhood, these reactions become automatic, and they're often negative. Emotional reactions become a learned habit. And then we find our own behavior seems uncontrollable. And in our culture, we're not really taught at home or in our educational system how to view each life experience separately and appropriately, and how we could learn from those experiences, process them, and let go the negative emotions without emotional blocks appearing, inhibiting our choices in both our behavior and also activities we could enjoy participating in, but we don't because we're scared. Our negative emotions become stored and we're programmed. We're literally programmed until we choose to deprogram. But first we have to notice that it is a program. And if we don't notice that we are programmed, we will keep doing the habitual response to situations. And when we're triggered, we can suddenly find ourselves in a very defensive and negative state. We all go through that. But this coming into awareness through the practice of mindfulness, through being present in this moment, can help us see our habitual responses, our negative cycles, and we can learn to process and dissolve. And so breaking negative cycles is really raising our emotional state and start to experience it at a higher frequency. So we all know that the world out there is a bit crazy. Oh, not a bit crazy, very crazy. And there's a lot of conflict. If we spend our time absorbed in that, we pick up those vibrations and get very caught in them. And all we can do is lament how dark the world looks. And that would be when we're looking at the dark. And so we avert our eyes and we look to where it's beautiful, where it's spacious. We look to nature. We look to the animals, and we look to places that have beauty and that touch us. And in that way, we can lift and change our way of feeling. We can reprogram. And when we find that we have a choice to go down the well-worn pathway, or we could say, uh-oh, not doing it. I know where that goes. And we can choose a new direction. We can choose a new pathway, and we can open to love, and we can open to gratitude. And it changes everything. And we renew ourselves constantly in that way. Completing now the particular breath that we're on. Let it go. Feel what's here. And welcome any sense of well-being. We notice it, we can amplify it, make a meal of it. Make a meal of anything that feels really lovely and positive right now. Good, and so now let's bring ourselves into the next shape. So use your hands and push up and away. Child's pose. We can sit over the bolster as it is and get settled and lie forward symmetrically, getting as much of your torso onto the bolster as you can. And your alternate pose is lying on your tummy with the legs extended out behind you. So no one should be here miserable in their knees. Knees hurt, come on out and stretch them out behind you. And so the bolster under your tummy will give you that nice spaciousness in your lower back. Gives a little bit of a gravitational drop for your heart to melt towards the ground. So whichever shape that you have taken for this third in our sequence of child's pose, find comfort, feel the support. And rest in the feeling now of being breathed. The breath just happens. And so in this practice of not measuring and not shaping the breath, we do the opposite. We allow it. We allow the breath with a sense of curiosity now. Feel the inhalation, and it's going to happen by itself. And feel the exhalation, that too happens by itself. The quality of watching it with curiosity, how it just appears, feel that and engage your attention with curiosity in the movement of your breath. So you can't get it wrong. There's no particular shaping of it. It's simply approaching it now with curiosity, how the body breathes. Lovely, everyone. Are you ready to come out of this shape? Come to fours. If you've been in child's pose, just give your legs a little stretch. Our next pose is the supported forward bend. So we make a little support, 2 blocks, put your bolster on top, and make a seat with your folded blanket. So as you know, you can have cross-legged or straddle-legged for this shape. Choosing the position that's lovely for your legs and your knees. Even in this pose too, there is the sense of the heart melting towards, through the shoulders, creating more space there. And you could also think of it as taking the roundness out of the upper back, flattening that area. You might well feel this in your lower back. If your legs are straight, you'll feel it behind your legs, your calves. The sensation of stretch, the sensation of opening, the sensation of making more space in the physical body for prana to flow. And so our poses happen on the levels of the koshas, the physical body, muscles, bones, circulation, all of that in the physical body, very positively impacted by our poses. And our energy bodies increased in frequency by the focus on breath and the calming of the thoughts. The mental, emotional body, we are now in the witness mode, viewing that. Our wisdom body brought us here because we've had good experiences. We can choose wisely for this body-mind, for self-care, for self-nurturing, so that we can stay healthy on all levels of being. Each breath a vehicle of transformation. Each breath the potential to shift our energy, our state of being, with the renewal that comes in with inhalation, the clearing and cleansing that goes out with exhalation. I'm breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I smile. That teaching is, of course, from Thich Nhat Hanh. The softest inner smile changes our frequency, and we could do that now. It increases frequency. It brings us to a higher consciousness, peace, love, gratitude, kindness. Lovely yogis, we'll slowly come up out of this pose. And then before we go into the next pose, I'd like to do what we did last week. If you were here, we practiced nada yoga, listening to inner sound. And we do that, so get comfy. You can sit on a chair if you're not comfy on the ground, or come into a cross-legged seat. And for nada yoga, we close off our ears and start to listen to internal sound. And so what we do, and don't do it yet or you won't hear me, we put our thumb into the, don't close that flap, just put your big thumb and close off the little holes of your ears, and your other fingers could rest on your brow. You could rest your index finger or ring fingers on your eyelids, just very lightly. So we're also closing off the light, the outer. And so we're closing off the ears, the eyes, and then we're going to make the humming bee sound. And that's an internal stimulation that takes us into the capacity to listen internally. So what we'll first listen to internally is the sound of our own voice internally, and it has a vibration. And you can change that vibration as you make the humming bee sound. In other words, it could be right in the front of your mouth, or you could take it a little further back and make it a little more and so closing off a little bit. So I invite you to just experiment with those sounds, because you can hear them in your own head. It's best to close up your ears and eyes so that you can really feel it internally. And so we'll be doing it about 9 times. I often say that, and then I do one more or one less. So you don't have to count, and just do it. So here we go. This is how it looks. And just join me, and we'll be here for about nine times. We close off the ears.
Completing the humming sound and sitting for a moment in your breath, in an internal stillness, still with curiosity. All this is with curiosity. This humming sound can increase our frequency, and we can actually feel that internal vibration, and it gets lighter. Our counter pose now is elevated legs, so you can put your legs over the bolster or lie up against the wall. See what you would like to do today. It's going to feel good on the back. Settle, get spacious. We've been sitting a little while, so it's going to feel wonderful on your back.
The invitation now with the breath is to breathe out completely and drop into the feeling of no breath. Not in a competitive way, just to rest with the no breath. We know how it feels. We rehearsed it in the square breath. And now it's a dropping and hovering in that meditative place, empty place of no breath. Your inhale will arrive, it will arise. Don't suppress it. In this very practice that we are doing together now, we are increasing our frequency. And the more we practice that, the more we can live in joy, gratitude, well-being. And the more we do that, the less we react to a negative remark, a little trigger, be it interpersonal, or the less we can react to world events as we recognize that as a humanity, we are all being asked to increase our frequency, to live in the level of love and gratitude, kindness towards one another. And in this way, we are becoming the new humans. The new humans who are already building, constructing the new world. And when we know that, we can let the old world just fall apart and know that we will be all right. We will be okay. And in this way, we help ourselves and we help the others. When we navigate this world in a higher vibration, in a higher frequency. We are carrying and transmitting and broadcasting that all around us, near and far. So it's enormously helpful. Just as we know how awful it is when somebody is always negative around us, this we reverse. And it works so beautifully in the opposite direction. So bathing in your breath and bathing in this knowing that you are a being of light. You are loving awareness. That we are here to remember that, to disengage from the old programs and remember who we are at core. And so we bring the elevated legs position to completion. Just draw your legs in, give yourself a little hug. Roll over. And we'll set up now for our next pose, which today is going to be the mountain stream pose. So the mountain stream, we're going to put our pillow blanket at the top of the mat, on the mat, and we'll use our second blanket as a little terrain for our stream. So we roll that blankie into that shape, and the blocks we'll put at the foot end of the mat. Now this is a big pose. For some of you, you may choose to do the bridge pose that we do every week without this and put that under your hips. But if you want to try the mountain pose, then do it this way. Let's see. The bolster in the mountain stream is going to be under the legs, and this roll is going to be right here across your thoracic spine. Shoulders and arms are in this gap, and there's the pillow for the head. Are you ready? Let's give it a go. And so this is quite an upward thrust of the heart space with that push of the rolled blanket. If it feels too much, take it out. And so however you've positioned yourself, come into heart breathing. The feeling of the breath at your heart. Bring in gratitude. So the more we practice gratitude, the more available it becomes. We can do it a lot. We can do it first thing when we wake. Another day, so grateful. We can do it before going to sleep. Day complete, thank you. We could do it here and now. This breath, this body, this calm feeling. So grateful that my calm demeanor, my open heart can be helpful. That I am expressing my true nature with my open, welcoming heart. There are so many of us on the planet in this time of the great turning of the wheel, practicing this and coming to live in this frequency of well-being, of love and joy. It doesn't mean there aren't challenges. Challenges are there all the time. But love and joy and welcoming changes everything. It's a big pose, the mountain stream. We'll complete it now. So cautiously roll to your side. Remove that blanket and come to lie flat on your back for Shavasana. Now you can use the bolster under your legs, the pillow under your head. And let your body come into that neutral, relaxed place. Where you can settle and drop deep into the ground. And then for the last part of our practice, I've invited Ram Dass to come and bring the mantra.
We have to get out of our minds. Our thinking minds. I'll tell you how I do it. Using a mantra or phrase. I am loving awareness. 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 Huh. I'm loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness.
So beautiful, yogis. Here we are, just bathing in loving awareness. All of us, loving awareness. It's who we are. Very gently now we complete our practice with a little stretching. Fingers and toes. Maybe hug your knees in. Welcome and love your body. And roll over onto your side. And then come on up to sit, sit, sit like Buddha, sit yogi style. So grateful to have this time with you, grateful to, not visible but very present, Chris, and all of you. Thank you so much, and namaste.